students. Our next topic is Introduction to Programming Language. So basically programming language क्या होता है? As we know, to communicate with a person, we need a specific language. Similarly, to communicate with the computers, programmers also need a language which is called programming language. So when we talk, जब आपस में दो जने बात करते हैं, they need a common language to talk, to share their ideas. In the same way, to tell the computer to perform a specific task, we need a programming language. So, a programming language is a computer language that is used by programmers or developers to communicate with computer system. Okay, programming language हमारी क्या होती है? It is a computer language that is used by programmers and developers to communicate with computers. It is a set of instructions written in a specific language to perform a specific task. So programming language basically हमारी क्या है? Set of instructions जो एक specific language में लिखी होती है so as to perform a specific task. A programming language is of three types: low level language, which is machine level language and assembly level language, middle level language and high level language. High level language के अंदर आते हैं procedural oriented programming language, object oriented programming language and natural language. Next we have is difference between machine level language, assembly level language and high level language. So basically machine level language क्या होती है? It consists of binary codes which specify the operation. Assembly level language क्या होती है? Language consists of mnemonics which specify the operations. High level language क्या होती है? Language consists of English like statements which specify more than one operation. So basically जो humans input कर रहे हैं वो क्या है? High level language. Then it converts into mnemonics which is assembly level language, and then in the form of binary codes which is machine level language. Okay. So high level language क्या होती है हमारी? Independent of processor. Assembly level language क्या होती है? Processor dependent, hence requires knowledge of internal details of the processor to write a program. Whereas machine level language क्या होती है? Processor dependent and hence require knowledge of internal details of the processor to write a program. Next we have हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज में क्या होता है? प्रोग्राम्स रिक्वायर मोर मेमोरी, इसमें मेमोरी ज्यादा रिक्वायर्ड होती है. असेंबली लेवल लैंग्वेज में कम मेमोरी रिक्वायर होती है एंड मशीन लेवल लैंग्वेज में लेस मेमोरी रिक्वायर होती है. हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज का एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम मोर होता है, असेंबली लेवल लैंग्वेज में एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम लेस होता है एंड मशीन लेवल लैंग्वेज में एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम लेस होता है. हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज प्रोग्राम डेवलपमेंट इज इजी as it's in English. Assembly level language, it's simpler than machine level language, and machine level language, it is very difficult to develop a program. High level language is user friendly as it's written in English. Assembly level language is less user friendly as compared to high level language, and machine level language is not at all user friendly. Okay. Next we have types of programming language. First is low level language. So as we have seen above also, low level language is a machine dependent in form of binary which is 0 and 1's programming language. The processor runs low level programs directly without the need of compiler or interpreter. So the program is written in low level language, can be run very fast. ये दो टाइप के होते हैं, machine level language and assembly level language. Machine level language is a type of low level programming language. It is easier to read because it is normally displayed in binary or hexadecimal form. It does not require a translator to convert the programs because computers directly understand the machine level programs. Assembly level language is a type of low level language that is designed for specific processor. It represents a set of instructions in a symbolic and human understandable form. It uses an assembler to convert the assembly level language to machine level language. It is a set of specific instructions given to a processor. Next we have is high level programming language. High level programming language is designed for developing user-friendly software programs and websites. This programming language requires a compiler or interpreter to translate the programs into machine-level language or execute the program. The main advantage of high-level language is that it is easy to read, write, and maintain. For example, Python, Java, JavaScript, PHP, etc. ये दो टाइप की होती है, प्रोसीजरल ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज एंड ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज. तो प्रोसीजरल में क्या होता है? It is derived from structured programming and based upon the procedure call concept. It divides a program into small procedures called routines or functions. It is used to create a program that can be accomplished by using a programming editor like IDE or Microsoft Visual Studio. It helps a programmer to easily track the program flow, and code can be reused in different parts of the program. The advantage of POP language is that it helps a programmer to easily track the program flow, and code can be reused in different parts of the program. For example, C, Basic, Pascal, etc. Object-oriented programming language क्या होते हैं? It is based upon the objects. In this, programs are divided into smaller parts called objects. It's used to implement a real-world entities like inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, etc. in the program to make the program reusable, efficient, and easy to use. Its main advantage is that OP is faster and easier to execute, maintain, modify, as well as debug. Object-oriented programming language follows a bottom-up approach. For example, C, C++, Java. Third, we have a natural language. Natural language is a part of human language such as English, Russian, German, and Japanese. It is used to perform tasks such as translation, automatic summarization, named entity recognition, relationship extraction, and topic segmentation. Next we have is middle level programming language. It lies between the low level programming language and high level programming language. It is also known as the intermediate programming language or the pseudocode language. Okay, its advantages are it supports the feature of high level language and is user friendly and closely related to machine level language and human language. For example, C, C++ languages. So basically nowadays the programming languages which are in great demand is Python. Python is the most user-friendly programming language. It has advantages like it is easy to read, easy to understand, easy to write. It integrates with other programming languages like C, C++. Python executes code line by line, so it is easy to find the error. Plus, it is platform independent. Disadvantages: Python is not suitable for developing mobile applications and games. It works with the interpreter. Next is Java. Java is a simple and secure, platform independent, reliable, architectural neutral, high level programming language. It is easy to read, write, compile, learn, and debug as compared to other programming languages. It provides ability to run same programs on different platforms. It is capable of performing multiple tasks at the same time. Java consumes more memory and slower than other programming languages like C or C++. It does not provide any backup facility. Next we have a C. C is the most popular and the first language which was developed. It is simple and flexible and a general purpose computer language. It can be performed on text editors, compilers, network devices, and many more. C++ is one of the thousands of programming languages that we use to develop software programs. It is used to perform some additional features such as exception handling, object-oriented programming, type checking, etc. It is a simple and portable structured programming language. It uses OOPS features such as abstraction, inheritance, and encapsulation. It provides high-level abstraction and useful for a low programming language and more efficient for general purpose. It is more compatible with C language. Disadvantages: it is not secured as compared to other programming languages like Java and Python. Okay. Next we have is introduction to compiler. What is a compiler? So basically, compiler is a translator that converts the high-level language into machine-level language. High-level language is written by developer and machine-level language can be understood by the processor. Compiler is used to store errors to the programmers. The main purpose of a compiler is to change the code written in one language without changing the meaning of the program. Okay. So in the first program, so this is the main working of the compiler. In the first part, the source program compiled and translated into the object program lower level language. In the second part, the object program is translated into the target program through assembler. Next, we have the difference between the machine level language, assembly level language, and high level language we have seen earlier. So this is the crux of what is a compiler, assembler, linker, and a loader. So compiler is used to translate source file into assembly files, and assembler is used to translate assembly files into object files. Linker is used to connect object files and perform the operation and runs an executable code, whereas a loader is used to load the necessary files, libraries into the program. So basically, assembler is used to convert assembly level language into machine level language. This is the processing of any code which we do. Code is written in high level language, then it gets converted into assembly level language, then machine code, then linking and loading process is done, and then we get the machine code ready for execution. The more detailed diagram for this is input is given by the user in high level language. It then goes through the preprocessor in the form of pure high level language. Then it passes the compiler, which converts it into an assembly level language. Then it goes through the assembler, which converts it into an object code. Then it passes by the linker and loader to get it converted into an absolute machine code, and then we get the executable code. So language processing system is made by compiler. It is used to convert the source code into assembly code. Assembler, it converts the assembly code into object code. Linker, it combines the multiple object files into a single executable program file or into a library file. Loader, it loads the executable file into a main memory. So then what is the use of an interpreter? So interpreter and compiler performs the same thing like execution of the program, but interpreter does everything including execution line by line. It translates high level language into low level machine level language. So an interpreter reads a statement from the input, converts it into an intermediate code, executes it, and then takes the next statement in sequence. This makes it easy to find the error in an interpreter. So let's have a detail like high level language is converted into machine level language, and in between we have an interpreter to check the code. Example of interpreter is LISP and Prolog. Next we have a debugger. Debugger, it is the process of debugging and detecting or removing the errors from a software code that can cause it to behave unexpectedly or crash. So basically debug is whenever there is some error in our existing code, we use different debugging techniques to correct that error. So next we have is linker. A linker is a program in a system also known as link editor and binder, which combines object modules in the form of a single object file. Basically, linking is the process that helps to gather and maintain a different piece of code into an executable file or single file. With the help of a linker, a specific module is also linked into a system library. Like all the files required to perform our operations are linked together, so we can perform the required operation with the help of a linker. All the library files, all the files which we require to run our program. The primary function of the linker is to take objects from the assembler as input and create an executable file as output for the loader, as it helps to break down a large problem into a small module that simplifies the programming task. So ये हमारा क्या करता है, source code, then compiler, then assembler, then object code, then linker, and then executable file. Next we have is a loader. A loader is a major component of an operating system that ensures that all necessary programs and libraries are loaded, which is essential during the startup phase of running a program. It places the libraries and programs into the main memory in order to prepare them for execution. So a loader is responsible to validate the program for memory requirement, copy necessary files, copy required command line arguments into the stack, initialize the registers, link the starting point of the program to the other required libraries, jump to the program's starting point in the memory. Next we have is assembler. The assembler is a software that converts an assembly level code to machine code. It takes basic computer commands and convert them into a binary code that computers' preprocessors can use to perform its basic operations. So basically assembly level language code क्या करता है, assembly level language code को other level language code में convert करता है. It's like an op code basically gives information about the particular instructions. The symbolic representation of the opcode or machine level language is called mnemonics. Programmers use them to reassemble the operations in assembly level language. For example, here add is the mnemonic that tells the processor that it has to perform additional function. Moreover, A and B are the operands. In the same way, we can use subtraction, multiplication also. Types of assemblers. We have two types of assemblers, one pass assembler and multi-pass or two-pass assembler. In one pass assembler, these assemblers perform the whole conversion of assembly code to machine level language code in one go, whereas a multi-pass assembler first processes the assembly code and stores the value in the form of opcode table and symbol table, and then in the second step they generate the machine level code using these tables. Okay, this is the detail what is done in pass 1 and what is done in pass 2. In pass 1, symbol table and opcode tables are defined. Keep the record of the location counter, also processes the pseudocode instructions. Pass 2 finally converts the opcode into the corresponding numeric code, generates machine code according to the value of literals and symbols. Next we have is difference between compiler and assembler. A compiler is used to convert high-level language source code into machine-level language code, whereas assembler is used to convert assembly-level language code into machine-level language code. A compiler is high-level language source code, whereas a machine-level language input is low-level assembly code. A compiler converts the whole source code to machine code at once. Assembler does not convert the code in one go. Compiler has the following phases: lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, intermediate code generator, code optimization, code generation, and error handling, whereas an assembler completes the task into one or two passes. A compiler produces a machine code in form of mnemonics, whereas an assembler produces binary code in form of zeros and ones. Compiler, we have examples Java, C, C++, etc. are the compilers, whereas assemblers are GAAS, GNU, etc.